Hi everyone. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about finding reading 5. In the unit that we're working on currently, you're going to be writing a critical evaluation of reading 4. One of the things that you need to do as part of the process of writing this paper is to find a source that includes a counter argument. So our reading number 4, which I actually have pulled up here, is called Social Media as a Public Health Crisis. Let's treat it like one. So we can tell right from the title and also the subtitle, it's time to take old approaches to a new threat of addiction. And just by scanning through the article, that we're seeing lots of keywords, lots of repeating ideas about the negative impact that social media has on mental health. So this article is really focusing on mental health and social media usage, and it's saying that social media usage is bad for mental health. That is the position that's being taken here. So what we're looking for in our search in the databases is something that offers a counter argument to that disagrees with that. So we're going to be looking for articles that talk about some of the unexpected benefits of social media and mental health, and some of the things that social media has that are more on the positive side. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to go to my library databases. So when you're on your student resources, it'll come here for you to this opening page on my DTCC. You can find over here under the Student Success Toolbox, the library. When you click on the library, there's a list of databases here. So the one we're going to start with is SIRS. So I'm just going to show y'all some keywords and some ways to search and some ideas for ways to search. And I may also come across some articles that you can use. I'm going to search for our topic that we're focusing on. So if you have a notebook out, not a bad idea. You can jot down maybe the author or the title of some articles, because some of the ones I find, I have no problem with you using as you're reading 5. So the nice thing about SIRS, and this is why I'm starting with SIRS, SIRS has a section that goes over trending topics and that also includes leading issues. You can look at them all alphabetically here, where you can pick a topic and see some sources related to that topic. And lucky for us, social media is a trending topic, so we're going to click on it and it's going to take us here. One of the things that's really nice about SIRS is that when you find one of these topics, so if ever you're doing a research project and you're looking for a counter argument source, this is a really great place to come. If you can find your topic, typically SIRS is going to have a section that includes a couple different opposing viewpoints in sort of an article that looks like this. So you can see that the question that's being asked here is, do the benefits of social media sites outweigh the drawbacks? And we have viewpoint 2, which says no, social media use has been linked to a number of issues, including mental health problems, privacy concerns, and safety risks. Our author would agree with this viewpoint. So we're not going to use any of these articles because all of those articles are going to agree. We're looking for an article that's going to disagree with her. So we're going to look over here under viewpoint 1. Yes, social media use promotes social connections and provides convenient ways to find, share, and discuss information. And we have 3 articles. Just glancing at them, you can see that the bottom 2 are focusing more on the war in Ukraine, which is not necessarily going to match up with our topic, which is more narrowly focused on mental health. But this article, Being Real Finds Following as Gen Z Embraces Unfiltered and Free, has potential as something that's offering a counterpoint to the way that people are sort of seeing and expressing themselves online. So this one is something that you can certainly check out. You can also click on Find More Sources for Social Media and look through other sources that are available on EBSCOhost, which is totally fine. Not on EBSCOhost, excuse me, on SIRS. What I want to do now is go over to EBSCOhost. EBSCOhost is listed right here. And I'm actually, I know it says that selecting all databases for search may result in slow response time, but it's never slowed me down. I'm going to choose all the databases, and then I'm going to hit continue. I am going to filter down my search results in a second, but first I'm just going to put in some keywords. And you can see I've kind of searched this before. I don't want things from 1954, and I do want things that I have access to. So I'm going to choose full text. If you don't choose full text, then you might end up with an abstract because it might be a publication that exists out there that the database is finding, but that Deltek doesn't subscribe to. So we're going to choose full text because if you find a source that sounds amazing, but you go to click on it and you can't actually access it, that you can only see maybe the abstract, you can't use it as a source. You can't use abstracts as sources. You need to be able to see the whole source. I don't really want anything from 1974, so I'm just going to up the ante. Okay, and so you can see some things come through. And this process is not always an easy one. This takes more patience than Google, but when you go through this process, it is going to give you higher quality results. But as you see, looking through all of this stuff, this is not super helpful. And some of these you might be like, okay, that sounds interesting, but it is an incredibly dense study. Do not choose a source that you don't want to read and that you think you won't understand. I did happen to find one earlier that kind of focused in specifically and you can see that I'm really playing around with my keywords. And this is one that I noticed earlier that could be helpful. It's called Online Harms or Benefits, an ethnographic analysis of the positives and negatives of peer-supported support around self-harm on social media. And you can see that this is going to be a study, but I don't think it's going to be too difficult to read. To actually read it, you could choose the HTML or the PDF full text over here, and then you would read through the article. And it looks like it's going to have positives and negatives. So we know that our article is pretty much all negatives. So what you would be looking for in this would be the positives. What positives are mentioned here? So that's an option. Another one that I found earlier, I'm just going to go ahead and, yeah, that's the same one. Another one I found earlier is called Healthy Social Media Use Means Finding Balance, and it talks about some of the positives of social media use as well. Healthy social media use means finding balance. I just typed in benefits of social media to find this one. It's by Teddy Nicholas. So this one would work as well. And to click on it, you just click on the PDF full text and it would pull that up. So those are 3 articles that if you went through the process of watching this video, if you jotted down the titles of them, you can find again on these databases. And any of these I think would work as a counterpoint to our article. So any of the 3 that I just looked for would count as reading 5. But you're more than welcome to look for some further on your own as well. And then once you found the source that you wanted to use as your reading number 5, you would use it to fill out the planner in this section. So you can see for the Unit 4 source that you found on your own on the library databases, so that would be reading 5, answer the following questions. You'd want to include the author, the title, the source that it came from, the publication date, and the UR link to the article. And these things can really be found, this information can be found in the detailed record here. If you are searching, all of the information will be on the detailed record if you're searching on EBSCOhost. And you can find out that information. Let me find the SIRS article. At the top of the article, you should be able to find information. If we chose this one, yeah, there's information up here that you would need there about the publication date and where it appeared and things like that. So that's what would go here, just information about what the actual article is. And then the question here is, what counter evidence is presented in your article? And how does the counter evidence impact the original author's argument? Does it refute the argument? So this means, like, how does the second article you read impact the article that we're focusing on, which is reading 4 about social media being a public health crisis? And that's what you would do in the counter evidence section.